Oh, we're muted. That's
We're good to go.
cool.
3, 2, 1. Hey, it's Wild Josh from Geek-Cetera, and I am joined by Chase, Ezra, and Kyle, who is joining us. He's back from the beyond. We're happy to have him.
Happy to
So,
be here.
yeah, on our stream
That
today, we're
joke
going to be
isn't
talking
gonna land
about...
until like another week. So
Well, people have known that have been on our live stream that he's been gone.
No, but the
no,
Beyond.
okay. The beyond.
The Beyond one.
The
Yes,
Beyond
yes,
half of
that's
it
true.
is.
That's a joke that will bring rewards later. Much later. So we're gonna be talking about Mandalorian season 2, episode 3, The Heiress. Great episode. I think I feel anyways. I don't know. What'd you guys think?
Too short.
I thought it was awesome. My favorite one so
short.
far.
I was disappointed in you, Chase, this week because I had a great meme, and you're like, you didn't get it.
I wasn't.
You did not get my meme. It went.
Listen, my brain does not work anymore.
It had R2 saying we're supposed, or not R2, it was Obi-Wan going R2. We're supposed to be going up, not going down, and then it showed like the times of the Mandalorian.
Oh yeah, Chase asked
Episode
about
length.
that.
I was very confused, but I.
He's
I
like, "What do you
100%
mean
agree.
they're getting worse?" I'm like, "No."
No, I was like, how do you think this episode is possibly worse than last week, Josh? What is wrong with you?
No, it was definitely better.
Oh, yes.
Better. Marked improvement.
Mm-hmm.
Just besides the fact that it was shorter. That really,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even know how. There was so much they could have done in that episode.
Yeah.
It's true.
And there was so much that did happen in that episode, too.
Yeah. I did. So unlike episode 2, which I've only watched once, I did watch this one twice.
I didn't watch this one twice.
I should have. It was good.
I was going to, and then I didn't.
Yeah.
I wanted to just watch it to see like all the little like her. Well, we'll get there.
You really wanted to see your outfit again? You dog.
No, I mean it's so spot on to like the Clone Wars. It's incredible. Like everything, like her headband, her knife that comes out of her.
The voice
gauntlet.
though, that actress. I don't know who that actress was, but her voice sounded just like.
Yeah, it's weird.
I
wonder if I wonder if it's possible for us to have casted that any better. I mean, I feel like Ezra might have been able to come up with a better fit for that role.
Might have. I don't know.
Ezra, how long have you been saying that you want?
Months now.
Yeah,
since Mando came out. Actually, no, probably since the last season of Clone Wars. Ezra's been saying he's wanted to see live-action bo-katan.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, legitimately, since last season of Clone Wars.
I have been saying that, and I have been saying she better be played by Katie Sackhoff, or I'm gonna boycott.
I did not think we were getting that in this episode. Anyone else?
I thought we did. I thought we would.
You did?
You did?
Thought we were getting Katie Sackhoff as...
Well,
I didn't think we were getting bo-katan.
I thought we were gonna get...
No, I didn't think we were getting... I thought we were getting Sabine.
Yes, I thought we were gonna get Sabine and bo-katan. I don't know if I voiced that necessarily.
Yeah.
You didn't think we were going back to that Boba Fett storyline?
No, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
After episode 2, I didn't.
Yeah, after episode 2, we're not seeing Boba.
I really thought... I really thought we were gonna see Boba Fett in episode 2, and then we didn't. So then I kind of gave up on that.
So now, are you saying that we're not going to see Ahsoka next episode? Because that's where it feels like this is going.
Oof. I think we have to see Ahsoka next episode. Well,
within the next 2.
I guess we don't have to.
Yeah, it has to
be
within
within
the
next 2. You know what I'm really worried about is now he has to go to another planet, and we're going to have another throwaway episode on the way.
Oh, I hope not.
Yeah, that would.
I hope not.
That would make me very upset.
Yeah, I just like...
Yeah.
Is it too soon? We'll be halfway through the season and we'll already have Ahsoka?
Yeah.
Like...
Well, I mean, potentially, right? Because maybe they want to get this stuff out of the way. If they're really backdooring an Ahsoka series, then they probably want to get that out of the way, because then Ahsoka wouldn't be the focal point of being in season 2.
Yep.
Potentially.
Yeah.
I would like. So I want to talk about something, but should we talk more about the episode first?
I guess I got a lot of I want to talk about too.
Okay.
All right.
So, what did you guys think about the? This was Bryce Dallas
Howard.
Yep.
Howard. Yes, Bryce Dallas
Howard.
who did this. And did you see how the entry scene of the Razor Crest coming into that planet was identical to the entry scene from Apollo 13?
No.
No.
Like you can like side by side them, and like it's almost identical. It was kind of a cool nod to her father that she did that. Like
But
even like the flames coming off the Razor Crest as it's re-entering. Then they show
Yeah.
like water dripping, like the ice is
Yeah.
melting. Like everything was almost like a scene for scene recreation, except for the splashdown part.
yeah, that
Well,
hurt.
even that was
hurt.
kind of
They just dunked the Razor Crest into the ocean. I was like, what?
yeah, that was great actually though. I was like
Pretty funny.
I'm like those eggs are scrambled. But they survived. That was please don't send hate mail. I love the eggs.
So does the child.
Anyways. They survived. We got a new baby of that species. So anyways, that was great.
Mhm.
The do we have any idea what planet they were on? Did
Trask.
they say?
They did
Trask?
say- Yep.
Trask.
Trask, which is a new planet,
Yep.
brand new.
As far as I'm aware.
Okay. Why was I under the impression that it was Mon Cala?
I
Because
thought
of
it was
all
too,
the
because
Mon Cala-
of Quarren
Definitely
and
not
Mon
Mon
Cala.
Cala.
Because of
Yeah.
all the Mon Calamari. Here's the thing: is I feel like they could have gone with either Mon Cala or Manon from KOTOR. They could have given us like a water planet
Yeah.
we've seen.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this wasn't it a moon
Might have
The other
and
been,
not
thing-
yeah.
planet?
The other thing too
Possible.
was like I was thinking, why is the Empire like still here? Because like this would be the last place they would be is on Mon Cala, where they actually like build the ships that the rebels use. Like,
Yeah.
but anyway, that's why I was confused. But it's
Yeah.
apparently not Mon Cala, so cool. Glad to
Nope.
clear that up.
Yeah, not Mon Cala.
This is what I get
But
for not watching
For
episode.
some reason, there's still Mon Calamari and Quarren.
Well, I mean,
Mhm.
it makes sense. Where
It's
else
still
would
a
they
water planet,
go?
yeah.
Like, not a. It's a yeah.
I mean, if you had to make up a new species for every new planet you visited in Star
Mhm.
Wars universe, like
Cool, buddy.
why couldn't there be
buddy.
some Selkath there? No, that would be cool.
So
We should have got a Selkath, at least one. Is that what they're called? Selkath from KOTOR? Manon?
Oh yes.
oh yeah.
The Selkath.
Yep.
Or Nautilins, right there, water race,
hmm
or water species. Anyways.
What about those
Um,
flying bird things that the Kaminoans had?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So the Kaminoans were on a water planet, but they don't seem like they live in the water.
No.
They just are on a watery planet.
Yeah.
So anyways, we get this water sequence, which really was kind of a shocker. I'm like, okay, so this guy's gonna show him. Like, did you guys have any inkling? I mean, besides the fact that he's a Quarren, and usually Quarrens are bad in like Star Wars.
oh, that
I'm
he was gonna
thinking-
turn on them? Absolutely.
You
Yep.
you knew?
Oh yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
it was
I
pretty
had
telegraphed.
No idea.
I'm with Kyle.
And I think it was intentionally telegraphed so that way we'd be rewarding ourselves for knowing he was bad
Mhm.
and caught off guard that the Mandalorian showed up,
Yeah.
like bo-katan and stuff. Oh, but yeah, they telegraphed that one pretty hard.
Can I?
Really? I didn't get it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Josh here. I should have seen it. I did not.
Yeah, I mean, watching
Name
it again,
one
I'm like, I
Quarren
guess
who's
the way he's
been
like,
a
oh, get
good
that
guy."
baby close.
No, you're right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not racist, Chase.
I mean, I know in the
Speciest.
Clone Wars series, the Quarren and the calamari fought, and or Mon calamari, and but I didn't think it meant they were all bad and like evil.
All of them. Every
I
single one.
guess. I mean, the Nikto are bad too from Jabba's palace, but then in Resistance we got, I forget his name, but he was a Nikto and he was good.
What is a
If you
Nikto?
go back and just listen to the way he tells Mando, "Oh yeah, I can take you to find Mandalorians," like
Mhm.
just even the weird way he said it, I was just like,
Mhm.
no, Those
Technically,
Mandalorians are
it
gonna
worked. He did take him to where he could find Mandalorian.
be. That is very true. Yep.
So then that brings me to the thought, when you first see that set of Mandalorian armor pop up, and it's very clearly Bo-Katan's armor, I still wasn't expecting Bo-Katan, because I'm like, well, they trolled me with Boba Fett twice, kind of, because once you see the armor walk in, and you're like, yes, and then it's Cobb Vanth, and you're like, all right, he's still pretty cool, but meh. And then at the end of the episode, they're like, oh, by the way, here's Boba, and then episode 2, there's like, peace out, nerds. And I'm like, okay,
it would have been so funny if it was Cobb Vanth again. He's like, oh, I got a new set.
That I would have been so down for that. But yeah, now we hop off, and I'm like, all right, they're intent on, especially after last episode being not as good, they're intent on not making me happy, and I'm like, so this is gonna be a letdown, and it was not a letdown.
No, it was awesome.
Oh, I had such a big goofy smile when I saw that.
Yeah, I was pretty excited about that, even though I had kind of had it spoiled for me because of Reddit. Thank you, Reddit. It was still cool to see it.
I had kind of had it spoiled for me thanks to Josh. Thank you, Josh.
What? How did I spoil it?
Your thing was so confusing.
Because I said Mando season 2 episode 3.
I know, but then you said you didn't see the episode and that you were just complaining about how you got it spoiled for you. So I figured you wouldn't actually spoil it, and then I clicked on it. I was like, god dang it.
If I wouldn't actually spoil it, I wouldn't put it in spoiler brackets.
Well,
I would have just been like, someone spoiled episode 3 for me, and now it's ruined. But sorry, I tried not to do that. That's why I put spoiler brackets. But then everyone's going, Josh already watched it. I'm like, no, I haven't watched it yet.
Josh he sent the message at like 8 a.m.
Yeah, and I'm like, there's no, I don't know.
Like, you would have had to wake up an ungodly hour of like 7:30 in order to finish it in time.
So
the ungodly hour, 7:30.
It's just funny that Ezra is mad at Josh because Josh posted something in spoilers and covered it. But then in turn, Josh is also upset with Reddit for spoiling it. But like, you went to Reddit, you clicked on something.
I didn't think no. So I follow Mandalorian and Star Wars subreddits, and they all have rules like you can't spoil it in the title, and you gotta like blur pictures and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And someone didn't, and it was just literally the picture of the 3 of them, and it was like Bo-Katan, and I literally didn't even think. It was like 6:15 in the morning, and I'm making my breakfast, and I had a second. And I opened it up, and it was the first post I saw.
If you're the one seeing that first, then you got to be a moderator.
I know. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And then I'm like, I was so furious. I went in to see, like, are people roasting this person in comments? And no one was. They were all like, "This is." I'm like, what the heck is going on? What world do I live in where spoilers are okay?
The world where Europe exists, and they're all up, and I've seen it for like the past 7 hours.
Yeah. So I was pretty frustrated. It kind of like set my day off. But then I was also really excited that Bo-Katan was in it, and I wanted to go and watch it.
Chase, you've changed my mind. I'm no longer mad at Josh. I'm mad at Europe.
Yes. As it should be.
The rightful villains. The rightful villains in the situation in Europe.
I mean, the ones with English accents are bad in Star Wars, so they must be bad in real life.
What about Obi-Wan?
Don't mention that.
Qui-Gon.
What about Rey?
Rey was a bad one.
Rey is a bad guy.
They're okay with Rey. So we get Bo-Katan, and we do not get Sabine. We get like anyone think like that could still be Sabine? She's just wearing different armor.
No, it's not. Because her name is completely different. If you watch with subtitles.
Hold on, sorry. Are you talking about the other one in that crew? I thought you were talking about the hooded figure.
The hooded figure is the one.
The hooded figure is the one in the crew.
Was it?
The same person.
Yeah. Shows how much I actually pay attention.
She just was wearing armor instead of the hood. Yeah.
And she does have a name, and it's not Sabine Wren. I can't remember what it is. It's not Sabine Wren.
It's not Sabine Wren, but I mean, she's going under a pseudonym.
But then why wouldn't Bo-Katan?
I don't think.
Sorry, go ahead.
Personally, I don't think Sabine Wren would put on just like standard blue armor and not paint it like.
Yeah, that's true. it's just annoying
I agree.
that she was put in the trailer at all. Then
okay, and this is why, and like this is
Specifically to get people thinking it's
the
Sabine Wren.
praise that we're giving them,
Mhm.
because that was like a crazy red herring to put that in the trailer. She's literally nobody, but they made us think that she was like some main character, and they put her in the trailer.
I actually want to go back.
It's pretty funny though. I mean,
I want to go back and talk about the trailer for a second. I think there's probably like 2 or 3 clips from the trailer left that we haven't seen.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Most of that trailer was from the first 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
you're right.
And that's what makes good trailers.
We are so blind going into the rest of the season. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I just think it's
sorry.
It's funny because that was like the only big thing we got was this hooded figure,
Mm-hmm.
and it just didn't pan out like to be anything. Like
and
it did pan out to be Mandalorians, and it brought us to Bo-Katan. But yeah,
but we didn't. I just think it's funny. It wasn't who we thought it was for sure.
Yeah. So we knew Kyle last week when we did our live stream. I don't know if you watched it or not, but we talked about how we knew we were going to this planet in season 3 because we saw the frog lady with the egg canister in the trailer. So we knew that's where we were going next, or we had a strong inkling that's where we were going next. But we have really no clue where we're going after this.
Or we know to meet Ahsoka.
We're going to that planet where Ahsoka is, but we haven't seen that planet. I don't think we saw a wooded planet in the trailer. Did we?
Nope.
Forest planet? I don't think so. So that's completely going to be new to us, like you said.
Or we're not even going there, and we're getting a filler episode.
Yeah,
and then Ahsoka's going to come find us.
That could happen. Yeah. I wish I knew who was directing this episode. Let me look.
I think. Yeah. Is okay. So the dark saber.
Yes.
The dark saber. I was gonna say something. So, Din Djarin definitely knows what the dark saber is, right?
I don't know.
I don't think I don't think so because I don't think he saw Moff Gideon cut the.
No. In general, like if he saw it
as a Mandalorian.
So here's the thing: is I think they did a really good job covering this. When Bo-Katan takes off her helmet, and Mando definitely has a problem with that. Her covering the fact that, the Children of the Watch are kind of a creed. They're not true Mandalorians, so they don't have the same tie to the Mandalorian history as the Children of Mandalore do.
But
so he might not know the importance of the Darksaber because that's not what he was raised in.
Did the leader of Death Watch not have the Darksaber in the Clone Wars?
I hate that you're right. Shut up.
So
yeah, Vizsla definitely.
So
was
he definitely,
the Darksaber.
I think he definitely wouldn't know what the Darksaber is.
But then how come he didn't know about Jedi when Pre-Vizsla fought against Jedi and Sith?
I guess it really depends on when he was saved.
How did like anybody on Tatooine not know who Jedi were? Like
how did they not pin Luke Skywalker to Anakin Skywalker, who is Darth Vader?
How? Like this is it's Star Wars logic. They do this all the time with like for some reason anything post Episode 3 like. We have no clue who the Jedi are, even though it was like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
There was a Clone War where Jedis were the admirals generals leading the clones into battle against droids. Like they were all over the place. How do you not know about this? The Force. That's some mythic thing we've never heard of before.
It's a hokey religion.
But
so guys, I gotta butt in.
Yeah.
I just went back and looked. I'm on IMDb. I know IMDb, we can't necessarily trust everything it says.
Yep.
But Episode 1 was directed by Jon Favreau. Had key points to the plot of the Mandalorian story. Episode 2 was directed by Peyton Reed.
Oh,
Peyton Reed is he did the Ant-Man series. So he's not like nobody. But he doesn't necessarily have any in that episode where it has like real plot points to the story, and he's new to doing anything with Star Wars, right? Paint and read.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 3, Bryce Dallas Howard. She did some directing in first one. We get an idea that she has more connection to this plot and where it's going overall. Episode 4, Carl Weathers.
Oh,
Why did that not ring a bell for me?
Grief
Carl
Karga.
Weathers is Grief Karga.
Oh, interesting.
So it's an interesting choice, but when I tell you who's directing episode 5,
Dave Filoni.
I think this is going to be a filler episode. It's Filoni.
Yes.
Filoni.
All right.
So I think we're getting Ahsoka in episode 5 because it would make poetic sense for Dave to be the one that directs the episode that we get.
Oh, it's going to be such a good episode.
And not Carl Weathers. Now,
I'm thinking Grief Karga is going to be in that episode. Then maybe they go and get Kara and Grief.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the synopsis for that one is the Mandalorian rejoins old allies for a new mission.
Episode 4?
Nailed it.
Yeah.
So he's going to go get Kara and Grief, and then he's going to go...
Cool. We can have another filler episode before we get the stinking payoff that we want.
Yeah, I think that's probably right.
I'm very happy with that.
But
Better be a good filler episode.
By episode 5, you're starting the second half of the season, and that's when you end up with Ahsoka. I mean, that makes sense.
Well, you're starting the second half, right? Because there's only 8 episodes, right?
Right.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that was kind of game. I mean, to me, that tells me we're not getting her next episode.
Yep.
I don't think there's any way we are, unless somehow IMDb's wrong about who's directing the next 2 episodes.
No, I think IMDb's right about that.
Yeah.
I think
I'd
the
believe
thing
it.
that we can't trust IMDb about is like names of characters and casting at this point.
Right. Or how
Because-
many episodes they're in.
And it's not even IMDb's fault. I think it's because they just keep things very secret and
Yeah.
Right. When I look though further than 5, it doesn't tell me. It doesn't say who the directors are. It only has
Interesting.
till 5. That's who the directors are. So.
So
yeah.
what have we talked about so far? Because we've talked about the Darksaber a little bit. We've talked about
Yep.
the helmet thing, which I'm so glad they clarified that.
Yeah,
That was,
I like that, and I'm very happy with that explanation.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
It makes sense.
I'm glad they tied up Featherstone because I was really curious
Yep.
about that. What else did we
It
talk
was
about?
kind of, now thinking back about it, it's like, oh yeah, we knew he was in Death Watch. We knew they were kind of
Yeah.
like a fringe group.
Well, and
where they were
if they had and I don't know why I didn't put this together either, because if he got rescued during the Clone Wars,
Mhm.
where the battle droid, it would have had to been Death Watch because all the
Yeah.
other Mandalorians
Well,
were
you can see it on
peacekeeping
the
nuts.
insignia on their shoulder, too.
Mhm.
Which makes me now even more believe that the armor is a Maul Mando. One of Maul's Mandos.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
It would, yeah.
Inter-
The spikes on the helmet, yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, are they going to bring Maul back? Maybe he's not really dead a third time?
No.
No. Maul is dead. But, I mean, it's possible that the Mandos that served him are still around.
What about
I mean,
a dark
Palpatine was
side?
dead.
What about a dark side Force Ghost of Maul?
Anyways.
I think that we're not getting any Force Ghosts unless it's Luke and Yoda, because that's all we've been getting. But
Maybe interesting, right? Like he goes to an ancient Sith temple, kind of thing.
so
Why would he go to a Sith temple?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Trying to find some Jedi's.
So I'm wondering, if with this explanation, do you think that they're going to have his character warm up to that, and that's how you're going to get Pedro Pascal his more screen time?
taking his helmet off,
Do you
I
think
hope
that
so.
I think so.
he'll kind of
I think
leave
he's
the
gonna
Creed
realize
but stay a
that he-
Mandalorian?
This is
This is what I think.
here's kind of what I think is where we're going. How does Moff Gideon have the saber? I told you my theory on the Discord.
Yeah.
I think that because I still think he could be an Inquisitor,
Which
and
I
that's
still
why
like,
he's
yeah.
with. but I wonder if he has Mandalorian heritage, and could he be in the clan Vizsla, who pre-Vizsla is the one that thought that he was the rightful heir, right?
What was the clan that essentially joined the Empire in Rebels? Because he could just be like one of those Mandalorians that like climb the ranks to Moff, you know?
Right. Isn't that Vizsla?
I want to say yes, but I don't really know.
I don't remember.
Wasn't it Sabine's?
Saxon.
Yeah, it was
Right?
Saxon. You're right. Yep.
Saxon. Yeah, that's right. Gar Saxon.
So here's the thing. I don't. There's a couple of reasons why I don't think he was an Inquisitor, and one is we already have his backstory being an ISB agent, so I don't know why they would tell us, or he would say he was an ISB agent and then not be one.
Can you be an IS? Like, could he have not been an ISB agent if he grew up Mandalorian?
Really? Well, I'm just talking about Inquisitor. I agree he could. I think he definitely could be a Mandalorian. I just don't think he's an Inquisitor, because they tell us he's an ISB agent. So I don't know why he wouldn't just own it that he's an Inquisitor. But two, he just strikes me as the kind of character who, when he's trying to get the child, if he has Force powers, he's going to use them, because he was using everything at his disposal to get the child and to blow up that town. Like, I don't see what his motivation would have been to hold back at that point.
I mean, he didn't use everything at his disposal because he didn't use the Darksaber until he was cutting himself out of the way of the TIE fighter.
He's right.
That's true.
I think the part that throws me off is his what he's wearing looks so different than what we've seen other Imperials wear, but it doesn't look that different from what we've seen other Inquisitors wear. And that's where I wonder. He's all, and the fact that, and I know that sometimes actors do this, but he's talked and given interviews and made hints that he could be Force sensitive.
Well,
Brie Larson thinks she can lift Thor's hammer.
Why else would he go after the child?
Who said that?
I said that.
Brie Larson.
Brie Larson thinks she can lift Thor's hammer. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actors say a lot of stuff because they think.
And Daisy
really
Ridley
cool.
says that Disney had changed her parentage.
All right, we're not even talking.
Oh
about
my
that.
gosh, no. But he, what was I saying? Child. Right. So I think he wants to have the Force, and that's why he's going after the child with the cloners. Like, he feels like he could get
That's
Force
true.
powers from the child.
Like steal the child's midichlorians. We're going midichlorians.
I'm not saying it.
What were like the bigger bad guys in Jedi Fallen Order that weren't Inquisitors? They were like the black. They wore black. They were stormtroopers.
The Purge Troopers?
Yeah, because honestly, his armor looks to me more like a Purge Trooper armor than like a Sith Inquisitor.
But he has a
armor.
cape, Ezra.
You know what? You're right. Just throw my theory out the window. It could be a Moff cape. You know, that's not a cape you get from being a Purge Trooper, but it might be a cape you get from being a Moff.
Cape, you heard something
You
special.
wear a Moff. You can wear whatever you want.
But now I'm trying to think, did I guess she was only Governor. I was trying to think of characters from
Governor
Rebels.
Price.
Yeah, she was only a Governor.
Yeah, you're right.
But Moff Gideon, or not Moff Gideon, that's who we're talking about. Grand Moff Tarkin just dressed like a regular Imperial Admiral.
And Thrawn wore like a white.
He dressed like an
but he
admiral
did-
too. He just
but
had a
he-
different color scheme.
He didn't have a
He was
didn't have a
an
cape.
admiral.
But yeah, he
Okay.
was an admiral. He wasn't a Moff.
Grand Admiral. That's
Yeah.
true.
So
Grand
I mean-
Admiral Moff.
But nobody else has capes aside from like Inquisitors.
Darth Vader had a cape.
I mean, one could argue
cares?
he was the Grand Inquisitor.
who cares? The Sidious is dead. There's no like empire anymore.
yeah,
Wear
he's
whatever
not
the heck
dead.
you want. Wear whatever the heck makes you feel fancy.
Mhm.
You know, let a guy feel fancy.
Mhm.
I don't think
He
it means
just wants to
I
feel
don't.
fabulous.
I don't think it means he's an Inquisitor. I don't think that. I think it's because he thinks the cape is cool. And it is. It's pretty awesome.
Mhm.
I'm not denying that.
So, okay, we've discussed the cape.
I
Check that off. Where are we?
I
So-
think I want to talk about Bo-Katan's mission thing because we haven't talked about that yet.
Okay.
I mean,
That's
obviously
true.
she wants the Darksaber. She wants it back. They
Badly.
somehow got it. They somehow got it from her. But like, I think the Mandalorian doesn't know about the Darksaber yet, though.
I don't think so.
Right? Like about her actual mission to get the Darksaber. And I feel like that's one way you could definitely, like.
He was in the room though, wasn't he? When she went up to him and she never said it specifically, did she?
No.
She said, "Where is it?"
Yeah. I don't think he even like bat an eyelash at that. Like, I think that's one way to get him on her side to help her, do her mission. Just saying like, oh, he has the Darksaber, because that's where I was getting at with the whole Death Watch. Definitely knows what the Darksaber is, right? Because so he would know that it's a valuable object to Mandalore.
Yeah.
And I don't know. So I feel like what I want to happen, and I don't think this will happen, but I'd like to get rid of the child this season, and then next season can be about going after Moff Gideon. Like, what would be actually pretty cool is if like they finally figure out where to deliver the child, and then Boba Fett comes in and tries to stop him because he wants his armor back, and that's like the main villain for this season. And then next season they can go tackle the Moff Gideon problem together as more of a team.
Where the child has to go is just to Ahsoka, and Ahsoka says, "Oh, I can get it there," or there's no more of those people.
Well,
so
I think
I'll just raise it, and it will be my Padawan.
I love that.
Oh, so you mean like instead of my plan, but like condensed down to one season?
So backdoor. Oh man, use the child as a part of the backdoor into the Ahsoka series. So we plan on the child for the Ahsoka series.
So the child keeps moving from series to series.
No.
He just has cameos in all of them. He'll be in the Boba Fett
I was
one,
trying to think of
I'm
like, how do we connect it? So he meets up with Ahsoka, and Ahsoka agrees to deliver the child to a Jedi, but Mando needs to help her find that Jedi being Ezra, and that's how we lead into Ezra and Thrawn coming back from the unknown regions.
But I love it. That seems like an Ahsoka series thing.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Finding Ezra, and
okay, that's fair.
I want live action Thrawn. Like, that would be awesome. I want a Chiss in live action.
This causes a huge plot hole, though. I mean, if you think about it, right? Like, who right now in the universe would be most qualified to raise a baby Yoda as a right?
Yeah.
So where the heck is he in TLJ or not TLJ?
Baby Yoda?
Yeah, in that whole saga, right? Like, would they not give him to Luke, and Luke starting the Jedi Temple and training a bunch of younglings?
So
the only other thing I can think of
did
is
Kylo Ren kill Baby Yoda?
This is how we go back to the theory that this is actually Yoda himself, and we have to go back in time through the world between
worlds. I'm liking it more and more, as much as I hate it.
So they all hop into the DeLorean and they go back in time
through the world between worlds, and he grows up to become Yoda, and that's how you avoid the plot hole of the child existing in the sequels.
We've all said that Doctor Who could be a Jedi. So Doctor Who shows up in the TARDIS.
No.
Baby hops in, and then
I'm liking the Back to the Future tie-in better, and I'll tell you why. Because we could see a Mandalorian in a DeLorean.
The DeLorean.
Yeah.
No, there's a reason I'm the one that does the crazy theories.
I'm gunning for your job, bud.
So on that ship, which I guess I didn't even realize, but did you guys remember that ship from Rebels?
No.
Or was it Rebels or Clone? There was people on Reddit talking about how they were so excited to be able to see that style freighter or whatever it was in live action. So it must have been in Clone Wars or in Rebels. I was thinking Rebels.
Probably Rebels would make most sense.
Because they were kind of hijacking stuff like that in Rebels.
Yeah, so I want to talk about that scene, though, on that ship when, they're kind of pinned down by the stormtroopers. And how come all these other Mandalorians who've got Beskar on don't just pull the same bull rush tactic of, well, I'm kind of invincible as long as you don't shoot me anywhere in between, like, the gaps on my armor.
That's come my meme from today.
Yeah, that's where the meme comes
Yeah.
from.
So this was
Because
my
he's not just wearing what? Sorry.
This was my one gripe about this entire episode. Was that one scene I did not enjoy. I was like,
Yeah.
come on. And stormtroopers can't hit anything except for a Mando for some reason when he's got Beskar armor on. Then all their shots are hitting right in the core of the body and just deflecting off. I don't get it. Like, that scene was not my favorite.
He's not just wearing Beskar; he's wearing plot armor too.
Yeah. It's true.
He's got some plot armor. It's thick plot armor. Yeah, I didn't love that scene.
Yeah.
For multiple reasons.
Trying to get a picture of this ship that you're talking about.
I feel like there could have been other workarounds to clear that tunnel without him just
why not
going
just
in there.
throw
you
the
know what though?
detonator?
Like use your flamethrower,
Throwing them,
or throw them, yeah, or someone. I don't know. Just there had to have been a better way than that.
Yeah.
Like,
and
even
I
totally thought up to him with his jetpack and like shot through like wicked fast up there, or something like
like a Darth Sidious, like
there has to be
spin
something
move
better.
thing.
Yeah, better than just I'm gonna run in there with these explosive devices like this. I'm like,
totally
kamikazeing?
like when the whole pin down, like when they were pinned down like that. The whole time I was like, oh, he just has the thermal detonator he's gonna throw in there, and then he got a thermal detonator. I'm like, called it, and then he like runs in. I'm like, okay, well that's one way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have arms, my dude. Throw them.
It's just, I feel like it's such a contrast to, like, it kind of reminds me of that scene from the jailbreak episode. But what he just does is he just outsmarts everything and just walks around behind it. I understand if you can't do that on the ship, but, like, clearly Mando is intelligent. He can think through problems. Why did he think that his best solution to this problem is throw yourself at the blasters?
I don't know. Yeah. And hope they don't hit the spaces in between the Beskar armor.
Yep.
And that the Beskar armor holds up.
Yeah, at that close range.
Point blank blaster fire. I don't know. Yeah, that was kind of a mess of a scene. But anyways, they did it. Did you, Chase, being a Lost fan, did you pick out the
Lost
guy
fan?
in? Yeah, well, there was the actor from Lost, right?
Which one?
Oh.
The Imperial officer that takes control of the cockpit.
Oh.
And it's gonna like crash.
Is that the guy?
Oh, he's been in so many things.
It was the guy who played opposite Jacob.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
He doesn't actually have a name.
Yeah.
I think they called him the guy in white or something like that. There was the guy in black and like the guy in white.
He would have been the black guy in black.
Yeah,
Jacob was the guy in white.
He's from that. I'm trying to think. What else did I see him in recently? He's the villain in a bunch of stuff.
Oh, he's in a
pretty
lot of
good
things,
bad guy.
yeah. But when I saw him, I thought of Lost and right away.
I completely
I
forgot
didn't
of
even
him from
recognize
Lost.
him.
Yeah.
He how much older is he now? Like,
Well, Lost was like 15 years ago.
yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
2005. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, he's been in a bunch of stuff. One of the Mandos was Bakshi from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He's been in a bunch of things too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I started working on my cameos for season 2 and I got that one. It's been nice because there hasn't been a whole lot of extra characters. Like the scenes, like every episode is really tight. There's like 5 actors in it, you know?
Yep.
So it makes it a lot easier. All right. Anything else? I guess at this point we usually talk about where we think they're going next. We kind of already did that. Seems like it's going to be a filler episode where Mando goes and gets Cara Dune and Greef Karga to go and go see Ahsoka. For some reason, he feels like he needs backup for that.
I mean,
so
I would want backup too. If
I think at this point he needs to do ship is what he needs.
Yep.
Is that what you're gonna say?
I would want backup too if I was going up against a enemy of Mandalorians that can use the Force and has 2 lightsabers.
But he doesn't know she has 2 lightsabers.
It doesn't matter.
He knows she has a lightsaber.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Wait,
Like,
he hasn't seen lightsabers either.
he knows she's a Jedi who's an enemy of the Mandalorians.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as far as from what the Baby Yoda can do, he knows she's very powerful. So I would also want backup, just in case.
So I was thinking about it, and now I'm thinking back to the trailer when we see him meet up with Grief Karga and Cara Dune, and I don't know if that's back on that same planet, but that's also the planet where we see the TIE fighters and the speeder bikes.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like we're going to round out all of our trailer footage by episode 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might be right.
I think you're right about that.
So the last half of the season could be entirely brand new footage that we've never expected.
That would be nice.
It would be nice.
Yeah.
Kyle, I wanted. Can we talk about the thing we were talking about last night?
Yes, I don't know what specifically you want to talk about, but I'm happy to. And I also have actually, if we're talking Boba Fett, good, because I have kind of a dovetail for that. Yep.
Okay. So I don't know how to start. Like, basically, we were trying to figure out like when Boba Fett would show up, if ever. And we kind of came to the conclusion that he might not.
Yep.
And I don't know how he came to that conclusion. But I'm almost pretty convinced that we're not going to see him again, at least this season, and probably not even next season. Kyle, did you?
It just felt that way. I don't know. It was a hunch. So it just doesn't make sense to kind of go back to Tatooine now. Like, there's a whole lot of story to just pursue now, and we have 5 episodes left.
Yeah. Like,
I didn't see where he fit.
He doesn't. Like, I thought he fit in episode 2. I really did. Like, and now that we didn't see him in episode 2, I'm kind of like, I don't think we'll see him again. Like, it would have made more sense if he got stopped by Boba Fett on the way.
Like we saw at the beginning of episode 2.
Yeah. But like, there's just so many questions. Like, why? First of all, why did he not go after Cobb Vanth if he wanted his armor back?
Mm-hmm.
I think that was my main reason. Like, how long do you think Cobb Vanth was like there? I would think long enough for word to get back to Boba Fett that someone has his armor. You know, if getting his armor back was Boba Fett's goal, I think he would have already had it. You know, I think he would have gone after Cobb Vanth. And now, you know, we kind of thought like, oh, he's looking out to see the Mandalorian, and like, oh, my armor is over there, and now he knows to go hunt the Mandalorian down. But I don't think that's really what. I honestly think they just put it in there as like a cameo, like kind of like a fan servicey cameo thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like maybe even just to get it out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I don't know what you think, Chase. Like, I wasn't talking to you about this.
Yeah.
But
no, that sounds like we had this conversation, and I know people in our chat last episode or 2 episodes, past 2 streams, have talked about it, but entirely was expecting episode 10, 11, whatever it was, the second episode of the season to stay on Tatooine and kind of round out a Boba Fett story arc. And the fact that we didn't do that makes me think his story arc is entirely done. Like, I don't see them going back to Tatooine, and I don't know why Boba Fett would leave Tatooine after all this time now, like you're saying, just chase down his armor, which he clearly knew the location of. So
yeah, and like it's upsetting to me because I really wanted like a well-rounded ending to his story, and I wanted to see, and especially because like there's all this question like, oh, is Boba Fett a real Mandalorian? Is his armor actually Durasteel? Is like, and I wanted to see like a resolution to those questions, and like I honestly wanted to see my theory like of the Mandalorian taking out Boba Fett. I think that would have been a good ending to that story, and really an answer to a bunch of questions that we have. And I really thought Dave Filoni would be the one to do it because, and from an interview with Dave Filoni, he was saying that he called like Lucas and asked him like, "Oh, is Boba Fett like a real Mandalorian for the Clone Wars?" And his answer was no, he's not, and neither is Django, and they're not real Mandalorians. So I really thought like we'd get an answer from Filoni directly through like this outlet, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It probably doesn't really need to be answered, but personally, like I just love if they put a solid answer on that in like everyone's mind, you know.
Yeah. So I kind of, now I'm remembering. I have a theory, but I'll wait for you guys to finish with your comments. But our conversation the other day kind of spawned from I just get the feeling that Boba Fett's story arc in this season was done, and I was upset because I didn't really care to see Boba Fett in the series. I've talked about before about like the character was mishandled, and Lucas maybe just didn't realize he was going to be as well received as he was. And I feel like they killed him off. And anytime you bring him back or reference him now, it's just fan service. It's fan service that you can't go back and just fix, which they're doing. So I didn't want to see Boba Fett. I thought the Mandalorian could hold its own. But now, having teased him, having gotten Morrison to come back and play him, it would make me pretty upset if they don't do anything with this story. If all it is fan service and just a glimpse and say, "Oh, he was in it," that's even more frustrating. Like I wish they would go back and just do it.
And I agree, and I think I was kind of like, this is what spawned my whole idea from the beginning that he's going to come back and the Mandalorian is going to take him out, right? And we were talking about how we didn't want Boba Fett in it, and I decided that the only way that I'd actually want him in it is if that exact thing happened, where he was a bad guy and he came back and met his end again, you know, and they finally like put that whole chapter to rest, you know, and no more of like these people who don't understand how like the EU isn't canon anymore come back and say, well, he's still alive because he's in the EU. Well, you know, like none of that garbage. Like it's just end. That's the end of his story, right? I would have liked to see that, and it's even more infuriating to me that they brought him back just to do absolutely nothing with him. Even more so than that they brought him back in the first place. Like,
yeah,
I completely agree.
I don't know.
Yeah, you can butt in.
I don't know if you were here, but Josh had told us. Oh, Josh, you're.
Yeah, so I was just doing a little research while we're talking. I get a lot of my news now on Reddit, and I saw something the other day that talked about
spoiler news.
How spoiler? Yeah, is
No,
it spoiler?
it's not.
No. It talked about how they're going to be starting to film on season 3 of The Mandalorian soon, like beginning of 2021 soon.
Yeah.
But by that point, they hope to have the Boba Fett series wrapped. So that means that they are either currently or very soon will be filming the Boba Fett series, which means I believe that the reason we got Tamora Morrison just for a second is more to tease this Boba Fett series than it is to have anything to do with what we're going to get from him in The Mandalorian. So I don't know if that makes you happy or not, but I think it would be really smart if they want to do this whole connected world thing, almost like MCU did, that they do stuff like that where they have characters crossing paths in other series. So maybe we do not see Boba Fett in The Mandalorian reunited with his armor, but we do in the Boba Fett series. What if the Boba Fett series picks up exactly where we saw Boba Fett on Tatooine, and it takes it from there and follows that path? And maybe the Mandalorian has a cameo in his season, in his thing, and they do an interchange of armor at some point.
I don't think he's giving the armor back, especially if Boba Fett isn't a Mandalorian.
Or he gets a new set of armor.
Could be.
I don't know. But I think that's why we got Tamora Morrison. I don't see that his story is important to be told with what's going on. Where they're going with the Mandalorian right now, it doesn't seem like it fits. But it could have been a really smart marketing maneuver to now people really want to know more about Boba Fett. And here's a new Boba Fett series that's coming out.
I've got mixed feelings about that because I thought going into the Mandalorian that this was going to be kind of like our Boba Fett like TV show. He's a bounty hunter who's a Mandalorian, and that was kind of the story that we got from the trailer. You know, I thought it was gonna be more of a bounty hunter story than a Baby Yoda story. So it's just, I don't know. It's kind of frustrating to me.
Well, maybe the
that they're
Boba
trying...
Fett story will be the story that you actually want.
Yeah, so that's why I'm kind of like, maybe that would be good. But also, it's with a character I didn't care to see like revived necessarily.
I mean, I will agree that the Mandalorian hasn't been the story I thought we were going to get. But
no, and I'm not saying it's a bad
story.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that.
Ezra's kind of touching. I know people still give me hate that I'm not fond of the child, and it's not that I'm not fond of the child, but this show is called The Mandalorian. This show is not called The Mandalorian and the Child. So the child should be an arc in the story, but he should not ever be part of the story. So I think that's kind of what Ezra's saying now.
He's going to be long term in the story. I don't know. I feel like he's
going
to.
It's feeling like he's going to have taken up 2 seasons.
I know.
Okay, well maybe this is what's going to happen, guys. Because I honestly feel like they'll never get rid of Baby Yoda as long as it keeps making the money.
Yeah.
But I like the Kyle idea.
So maybe instead we'll just get a replacement, right? This season we'll get rid of Baby Yoda, but first season of Boba Fett, he adopts like a little child thing that is the new cute like toy seller, right?
I can't imagine.
There you go. Just pass it on to different seasons until you know, so they can keep making money on the cute thing. You each have to get your turn with a weird stupid alien child thing to make money, and then after that you can actually start telling good story.
Yeah.
You just need your turn with the money maker thing for a second.
Can I butt in? I want to say, you know, Ezra, you were talking about your idea for the Mandalorian. It was going to be this bounty hunter story and everything. And then Chase said, well, it's not called Mandalorian and the Child. And plus, or on top of that, it's not called the bounty hunter. It's called the Mandalorian, which is a creed of people. And that's what we're getting from this story. He's following a strict creed of his people. He's taking care of this little child that was orphaned and was going to be abused because that's the situation he was in when he was a child. He was going to be killed, and he was saved, and he's doing the same thing with this child.
So Josh, are you saying that when the name of the show is The Mandalorian, it's actually talking about the child who is now the newest Mandalorian adopted into the Creed?
No,
and that's our story of the show. The main character was never actually Din Djarin.
I don't think so. But I don't think you know, we thought it was going to be this bounty hunter story because we knew the Mandalorian was a bounty hunter. But that was just our own preconceived ideas and notions. It wasn't necessarily they called it the Mandalorian, not the bounty hunter.
Well, yeah.
So I think what he's doing, he's trying. I find it, and I guess it might be different for someone who has a child versus someone who doesn't. That I have more. See he's trying to take care of this little thing, and that's kind of helpless, and it brings me back to being a dad and having to take care of your kid. And I like the story, and I don't mind the child, but maybe it's because of that I don't mind the child. Maybe if I was not in the situation I am, I would be sick of the child as well and be like, let's get on with the killing.
No, that's not exactly.
That makes us sound so heartless.
I didn't say, like, I never said that.
I know, I'm putting words in your mouth.
Yeah. The thing is, like, I agree with you. I agree with you. I think you're right in the fact that it is called The Mandalorian, and this is a Mandalorian storyline. You're right. I just think what would be more Mandalorian is, like, you know, finding the guy who has the Darksaber. I don't know. I agree with that, and I think as much as it is also just a thing to sell product, it does have a a place within the Mandalorian. It's just irritating when everything else is sidelined and this is the only thing that can happen. Like this is the only mission that we care about. Like I don't know.
I feel like Disney is really smart in this because Mandalorian is blowing up, right? Everyone loves Mandalorian. Even people that don't care about Star Wars. My mom watches the Mandalorian. She loves the Mandalorian. She loves Baby Yoda, right? She watches it. She's excited on Fridays when it comes out. So this was like the gateway drug for a lot of people, right? Into this new Disney Plus telling these series. And they started with the Mandalorian. And now we keep hearing like they're going to do this, they're going to do that, they're going to do this for spinoffs, right? It's super smart because now they can do a spinoff for every person. Oh, you want a love story? Well, we got that spinoff. It's the Cara Dune. I don't, it's the this, it's the whatever it is. You want the nitty gritty dark side of the Star Wars universe? Well, you got the Boba Fett one. You want the tiebacks to the Clone Wars? Well, you got the Ahsoka Tano one that you can watch. I don't know.
You want
so
the
oversaturation? This is exactly why I'm irritated. This is exactly why.
I love it. I want it all.
No. I agree. I think that's great. Thing is, I thought that this was the series that I wanted to see because it was about the Mandalorian. I didn't think this was going to be the series that's going to be a gateway drug for everyone. I thought this was going to be like a deep into Star Wars lore series and not like a let's just get everyone on board with Star Wars series.
I think it's both things. I think it can be both things.
I think it's
because look
hard
at the
for it to be
the
both
Easter
things
eggs they've given us, tying back to these video games that only hardcore Star Wars fans would know these references and these things. Yet you have people like my mom watching who doesn't have any idea.
No.
To be able to do that with both of those two different types of fans is pretty incredible.
It is doing both to a degree. You're right. I just was expecting this to be more unhinged and more like we don't care if people don't understand these references. We're going to make them anyway. And to a degree it does that. You're right, but it still I feel is more careful for people like my grandfather who's asking me who the heck is bo-katan? Like am I supposed to understand what that is? Like I don't know.
Yes, grandfather.
What's an Ahsoka Tano?
You should try watching this animated series that you're not gonna like. It'll tell you exactly who bo-katan is.
Yeah.
It's only 10 seasons long.
It's only 10 seasons long, but you'll get all the answers you'd ever want to know.
Interesting because
to understand who Katie Sackhoff is, you have to watch Battlestar Galactica.
No, I know that when my parents get to this episode, they're gonna have no idea who Bo-Katan is, but they'll recognize the name Ahsoka Tano because they saw the Star Wars: The Clone Wars movie, and what a terrible image that's gonna put in their mind. They're like, this bratty little twerp of a character is coming back into Star Wars. What were they thinking? Like they've got no idea that Ahsoka becomes one of the best Star Wars characters we've ever gotten. Like,
well, Chase, they only have you to blame for that. Then
it's true.
Huh?
You should be educating them.
I've tried. I've tried telling them to watch Clone Wars.
Here,
and Rebels,
watch all these.
But
watch this.
The animated honestly, TV shows is not their style. So.
I get why they did it from a financial reason, from a strategic reason, but I wanted this to be like another Clone Wars thing where it's just like that's where it differs to me. Is like
you wanted something strictly for the hardcore fan.
Yeah.
Where Disney went broader and said we want to reach a broader audience.
I think season 1 was for the broad audience. I think season 2 they've done a good job of making it for the hardcore fans.
Well, they've got the broad audience already sucked in, right? So now they're gonna watch season 2. So
but like giving us Bo-Katan, name dropping Ahsoka.
Yeah. Dark Saber even.
I know,
at the very end of
and I guess
season
a lot
1.
of this frustration isn't coming from the second season. It's coming from the first one rather.
It's coming from the fact that they're releasing one episode a week, and then once we're done with this, we're gonna have to wait another year before we get a third season.
Yeah.
And I just wanted.
That's why I like that they're doing more spin-offs, to be honest, because one will end and we can roll right into another one and right into another one and just keep the Star Wars content 365.
But I just don't want oversaturation. Like, let's just do good stuff.
Yeah, I
Just
mean
do
that's
Yeah.
my worry
quality
too.
focus, like be focused
Because
and
in
do
order to
quality
put
I
stuff.
love the
in order to put
oversaturation.
the effort that they need to between Filoni and Favreau into Mandalorian to keep Mandalorian a good show, it means they can't be the ones working on the Boba Fett and the Cara Dune and the Ahsoka series because
Or
otherwise they're
if
gonna
they
have
are, then
or
everything's
everything's gonna suffer. That's some of the
But
reasons
they've kind
that a
of
lot of
trained,
TV
right?
shows end is they're like we can't keep this up with like unique and interesting stories, and so they'll go to that we're gonna uh, here's your series finale, and we'll do either a movie or a reunion show or something.
6 seasons in a movie.
6 seasons in a movie. We still
Yeah.
haven't gotten the movie, but
So
6 seasons in
It's
a
a
movie.
perfect formula.
they've kind of trained though these directors that have worked
I
with
mean,
them
I think
now.
that
Like
is part of
Bryce
the.
Dallas Howard has now directed a few.
Mhm.
They had Taika Waititi. They had some other directors as well, and one of them, Deborah Chow, is now going off and she's doing the Obi-Wan one on her own.
Yep.
So
I just wish they.
I think that's a good way of introducing someone like that to like, okay, I watched for
Yeah.
a whole season on how Dave and John did it, and now I'm ready to go off and do it on my
Yeah.
own.
I think part of the issue though is that Dave and John set such a high bar that it's hard to measure up to the gold standard now.
I'll give
And
you
so
that. Yeah.
when we watch these other shows, that's what we're going to be comparing it to. We're going to be thinking about Filoni and Favreau. And if
You're not wrong there.
these
Yeah.
other directors can't keep up, those shows will lose our interest. And even if they have good storylines, if they're not getting the same viewership, then Disney will say, "Oh, it's not making us money. Kill off the characters. I'm going to recycle you guys onto this other project."
I mean, yeah, I know what you mean.
We're
I
vastly
think
off
it was
topic
interesting
from.
though. Oh yeah, I know. We're still on the Mandalorian topic, which is pretty
We
good. I thought it was interesting looking to see that Peyton Reed is the one who directed episode 2. Now we all didn't like episode 2 of season 2, but that's a big name director that's directing one single episode of this series.
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting. Like, could they say,
Well,
I don't know.
I think
what
they
they
need to
could do.
get they need to figure out that the success from the TV show and what what makes the TV show successful, and realize that that can also make like a trilogy successful, and train these directors that they're training from the TV show not only to like make TV shows, but to make like good trilogies, maybe like actual movies.
All I can
But
picture,
this is-
all I can
was it
picture
the-
now is a Filioni KOTOR trilogy.
Ezra, why would you even say that? Because we're gonna go into a trilogy now, being like, oh man, episode 2 is gonna be just all filler.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Like,
Didn't the CEO of
coherency.
Disney? Didn't the CEO of Disney come out and say though, like their
Baba
vision
Bear?
for Star Wars going forward was more Disney Plus content, like
I don't
in
know.
less movies? I feel like that was something that he came out and said,
Yeah.
which is
It's
what
just-
we've been
Yes, I
getting.
do.
It's just irritating to me because what they do is they're like, okay, this is making money. Let's focus all of our attention on this, and in the complete wrong direction, and screw it up. So that then we can figure out what the next thing that makes money is, and do the same thing to that. Like, that's what I see happening here. This is why I'm frustrated every time someone says, "Oh, there's a spin-off like cartoon series," because
we're
like
not gonna
to
get
me it just seems like they're going in the wrong direction.
I feel
with
like
what
they should
doing.
be focusing their resources. If you want to do a Cara Dune series, wait until you've ended The Mandalorian. If you
I agree.
if you want to do your Boba Fett series, wait until you've ended Mandalorian.
It wouldn't
Have one show going at a time.
it wouldn't feel if they did that too, and they announced the Cara Dune series after The Mandalorian ended, it would feel less to me like, oh, this is making money. Let's make an exact copy of this. Boom. Like low effort crap. That's what it feels like to me.
Can I ask a question?
You
Actually, I don't know if I want to have this conversation. I want to do my theory. I have a question. All right, let me just ask this: Have you guys watched any of the Star Trek TV shows?
Never.
Could be Below Decks, could be the
Yes.
Picard. Or
Yes,
whatever-
I've
what
watched
the other one is?
like a little bit of Discovery and a little bit of Picard, and got frustrated and stopped.
Okay.
I watched most of season 1 of Discovery, just the TV 14 ones. But now it's re-released on TV, so I'm starting to catch up and watch because they released them all as TV 14. And then I've watched Lower Decks, and I only saw like 1 or 2 episodes of Picard. But anyways, yes.
As good as I think Mandalorian is, and I'm thinking this is their only TV series, I guess, other than, well, since Disney Plus, okay, or so you got the last season of Clone Wars. I just think Star Trek is doing TV better right now.
Oh, Star Trek is
Disagree.
terrible. Discovery and Picard were not good.
No, terrible.
Lower Decks. Did you watch Discovery, Kyle?
I'm caught up to season 2.
And you liked it?
Yeah.
Really? I did not. I didn't. No, it wasn't for me. I found myself even getting bored with episodes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that could just be me. And I loved the other ones. I loved the original. Next
Do you finish
Generation
Picard? Because I didn't, but I know what happens. Kyle?
I did finish.
Oh, okay. And you didn't think it was stupid?
No.
Okay. Weird.
Like I said, well, obviously I didn't think it was stupid if I just said I think they're doing it better than Star Wars. But that's all I had on that. I didn't really have anything to go into. But I do have a theory that I saw on Reddit that I kind of like about Boba Fett, because we got way far away from it, but I wanted to bring it up. If they were to include Boba Fett in the series and still make it fit with how he didn't immediately show up in episode 2, is maybe he is a bounty hunter still, employed by Moff Gideon, and he gave up his armor in the Sarlacc for whatever reasons, and he doesn't need it anymore, but he's being used to track down the Mandalorian.
Even if he didn't wear it, wouldn't it still be sentimental to him?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
it is his father's armor that he repainted.
Yeah,
this is why I'm like, I don't want.
The only other thing I can think of, though, is if the ruse of Boba Fett is dead would allow him to be able to do things that he wouldn't have been able to do if he were still Boba Fett. You know what I mean? Most people think Boba Fett died in the Sarlacc, probably.
But
now he's reborn.
I would think he would still want the armor. That's all. I mean, that's why it's confusing to me. It's weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
Also, like, what would he not be able to do? You know, as like the galaxy's most renowned bounty hunter.
I don't know. I'm just saying it could be a storytelling aspect there that they could dive into. Is that he let the Boba Fett? You know, like sometimes we get like the Emphas Nest, right? It wasn't a person; it was a mantle. Like the Boba Fett was more of a mantle, and now he's done with it, and he's ready to move on to a different chapter of his life.
He's the Dread Pirate Roberts.
Yeah, so honestly, I subscribe to that theory less now that I know there's a Boba Fett series in the works. But I did like that theory to kind of tie it up.
Interesting. Or like maybe he's still taking jobs right now and he was just busy with something else. And that's why I didn't immediately go after the Mandalorian.
I mean, we still have that, what many people think is him approaching the... I forget the character's name now on Tatooine in the Gunslinger episode.
Ming-Na Wen's character.
So he could have turned the bounty in for that and made some money and got back in the game.
Maybe. It's like they revealed to us that a character, you know, that we know is still alive, but like he has no like direction or reason for
being alive
or doing like what is he doing? I'm confused. Like that's all. I know it could just be down to like they didn't think about it, but they think about a lot of things that are less, that matter less. Like this is weird to me. So that's,
I guess
that's
all I can say from that is trust Filoni and Favreau.
Yeah.
I don't think they've done anything wrong in their series yet. So, okay, bye. He doesn't like that answer.
He did not like that take. That was a hot take. Chase.
Apparently, too hot.
Just kidding. I think
He has to go grab some milk for how spicy that take was.
All right, I think we're good anyways. We're at 70-minute mark.
Yes,
Think
we've
that's
been
pretty
here a
good.
while.
Yeah.
How are the commenters doing?
Logan was
Just
the only one to
Logan, he's
comment.
saying, the Death Watch, that would be hilarious.
Why is everything
Oh.
hilarious?
All right.
It never
So we're
ends.
gonna wrap. What did you guys think of episode 3 of The Mandalorian, The Heiress? Let us know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and long live the Empire.
He just killed an officer for interrupting.